Hey
Yeah,
Mo, can you hear me all right?
yes, very, very good. How are you? Thank you so much for opportunity.
Yeah, let's dive into your progress, huh?
Yeah. Can you give me permission?
Yeah, of course I can. You now have permission.
All right. So let me go here. You can see it my screen.
Okay. So keep it there for a second. Let me just do a run through. Okay, so the bar electromagnets, these C-shaped things,
Hold on a second.
they all need coil wrappings.
You
See
talk
the
about this
yellow?
one? You talk
No,
about
no, no,
this?
the yellow C electromagnets, the 12 on the outermost edge, outermost edge.
This
The
one?
C. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those, they each need a specific amount of copper winding around them, all 12. And they all have to be identical. And it's all based on equations that you can look up for. We're trying to achieve 3,600 RPM and hit a resonant frequency at that. So, uh,
36,000
uh,
36,000 RPM. I don't think that
3,600,
3600,
3,600,
yeah,
3,600.
but keep in mind this, but 3D printer is not gonna able to do that much speed.
So, did you see the glass syringe example I sent
Yes,
you?
I saw
It's
it. Yes,
0.2 millimeter difference. And what happens is because it's just 0.2 millimeters, when you spin it, it actually creates a frictionless
I
surface, a little
know,
air
but
current around it.
but
So instead of
that
having your ball bearings, you could have all of the spinning mechanisms for the central capacitor and the outer octahedrons
I
based on that 0.2 millimeter
I
different
know.
differential.
Even we do that because so many things. The roughness of the glass is very smooth. All right, that's the
Yeah,
thing.
so the spinning mechanism will be zirconium. So that can be a very smooth silica.
That's I don't know that material, but that the syringe one, it's so
Yeah,
differently.
the syringe one is made of glass because you can be very specific with specific glass millimeter densities. And we can, for 3D printers too, we can be down to zero point 0.1 millimeter accuracy. So, and our goal is to have a zero point 0.2 millimeter differential. So that's just a 3D printer can handle that.
That I'm saying it's possible, but the heat can generating can melt this stuff because
Yeah,
it's
so if you think it will get too hot, then we can avoid it. But there is such thing as cold electricity. You should look up where it actually lowers the temperature of the operating engine. So that's something to think about. Look into ball bearings. What I want you to do is that ball bearing design, just the ball bearing design. I want you to try to 3D print that in plastic. And if
okay.
you're able to make it spin, we might use it. If not, let's try this 0.2 millimeter
Okay.
design. And okay, so let's circle back. So the C electromagnets, remember,
Okay.
they all need to be wound
Who make
around a
the
yeah.
winding? Who you me?
You will make the winding. It's I think it's like 16 or 32, something around there. Look it up, and it's across the entire height of it. And
Okay.
then the C magnets turn into north and south poles because it becomes an electromagnet. So if you zoom in on one of those, go ahead and zoom in on those.
Sure.
So you see the C, the very outermost C on the top and bottom where the space is. The top one will end up being a north dipole, and the bottom one will be a south. So
Hold
you're
on a second.
touching the bottom one now.
So
So if
this one, the
so that
south,
will be the south, and the
this is
top
the
one will be the
north.
north.
Okay.
And what happens is these pass over both the low voltage and the high voltage capacitors. And the high voltage capacitors in that octahedron shape, they want to perfectly go over the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere as they do with the magnets north and south poles. So you want to make sure they're specifically long enough to target that amount. So if you imagine like the Earth is a globe,
Yes.
elliptical sphere, and it has a northern and southern hemisphere, and the sun can hit it in at different points. We're replicating this with magnets, if that is helpful to you.
Yes. Yes.
And make sure so that having a specific coil winding for the because it's iron core, and then there's copper coil wound around it, and then the outer hole's connected to his copper as well. So it creates this giant electromagnet. So Yeah, make sure specific coil windings. Okay, now the interior, let's zoom in more on these, yeah, outer electromagnets. Yes. So let's make these royal blue in the future. Oh, perfect. You just made it blue. Make it easier for me to see in the future. Okay, so
No, no, it's okay. I can make it
so
right
there's
now.
there
Well,
in these.
1 second. So when
Okay, yeah.
dark blue or blue?
Light blue is good. Any that blue is right now is perfect.
Okay. So this blue is good.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so now that we uh go back to a royal blue actually. Sorry. It looks cooler. Royal blue.
Royal blue. Okay.
Yeah. It was the first one you chose.
Yeah. Okay.
I know it's meaningless, but it looks nice.
No, no, no,
Okay,
no.
yeah, that's perfect. That one.
It's. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not painted. It's. It's not something. It's like one
Yeah.
click. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get back to those. So the royal blue capacitors now, these octahedron shape, there's actually three octahedrons in it. So an outer octahedron, a second octahedron that has a screw mechanism to this third and first, and the first octahedron, this is a special octahedron. It has a spark gap in the center. And a spark gap is just this little like nub and two nubs that are almost touching, but they're just slightly apart. And then the whole screw mechanism that connects all three together, that is one material, and that is the second layer material. So it's two, in simplest ways, it's two capacitors with three layers connected by the second layer, and they're connected through a spark gap.
Inside of this.
Inside of that. That's why I said, remember, every layer is at least 2 millimeters. So the innermost layer of that outer capacitor is 2 millimeter thickness minimum. So keep that in mind for when you expand up from the smallest layer. So the smallest for this current design, I think the smallest thing would be your ball bearings. We might get rid of that design, we might not, but if that were the case, that would mean your ball bearings, the smallest sphere would be needing to be probably at least 2 millimeters in diameter. Just food for thought. Okay, so let's get back to the central capacitor. I already told you about that. It's like these outer capacitors. So this green, red, green. Let's highlight on this now.
Let me clean up this one here.
Yeah, actually, while we're on this gray 3-layer capacitors, just circle the middle one of the gray three slabs, the three slabs outside of the blues.
This one?
Yes, those. Okay, click on the middle one. Yeah, okay. So all of these middle ones, they're gonna be, imagine like Swiss cheese, but it's a honeycomb open design. So there's holes that go completely through, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna pack powder and crystalline power into those. So those all will be like Swiss cheese.
Here with design. This one, I'll go through quickly with this here. I did what she asked him for. So this one, it's better way you can do it while you are printing with the powder. So while the machine is running, before reach up on the top, you can keep you line your powder, you pause
and you completely whole where the you can see through. Like if you were looking through it, you could look straight through it. It needs to be that much of a hole because it's connecting the two conductive plates, and only the powder is touching the two conductive plates because the second layer is zirconium, which is a dielectric.
Okay, so
but the zirconium needs holes in it like Swiss cheese because that's where you put the powder and crystalline structure.
Okay, so I'll go through this.
Just imagine Swiss cheese when you're doing it, and then have it like shaped like honeycombs.
So inside of this one, three layers inside.
Oh yeah, super tiny holes everywhere. So like little holes everywhere. You know, boom, 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 boom.
Okay. Holes go from where? From top to bottom, or
top to bottom? Yeah. Just okay. Imagine like, let's see, what's the smallest radius diameter we can do? Maybe like 1 millimeter circles.
Okay.
Yeah. If the 3D printer can print that. No, because we're gonna be zirconium's gonna use 0.6 millimeter or 0.8 millimeter. So it needs to be double that. So I'd say minimum 2 millimeter circles.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 2 millimeter, about 1.5. Good.
Let's see that it would need to be at least double 0.8, so at least 1.6. So make it 1.69.
And you want to like having this
No,
one.
let's stick with 2. That looks a little small.
Okay, 2.
2 millimeter. And then you just have those sporadically everywhere in a pyramid
Yes, I
shape,
can do that easy.
like a tetrahedron.
Yes. Hold on a second. So we got this guy.
And it wants to be the biggest towards the central capacitor and go smaller as it goes towards the electromagnet
Okay.
in the triangle
And
form.
you want to have this one is uh drive inside here. Sketch with pattern. All right. So you want to like this one populate this guy inside here.
Yeah. So there will be like, the base layer will have like 4 or 5, however many, and it will go smaller and smaller from this central capacitor outwards. So make it like a pyramid, but like a
Yes,
staggered pyramid
yes, I can
tetrahedron.
do that. So you
Yeah.
can add tab here too. Oh, sorry. All right. So you got tab in here too. All right. I'll figure out. Okay, no big deal.
Yeah, and just make sure it's far enough away from the edges.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
like maybe slightly further than that, and it'll be
You
perfect.
can have like a 2 millimeter far away.
Yeah, yeah. Just have
Usually we
3D
use
printing in mind with all the dimensions you do.
like
Okay,
2.
yeah, just because imagine a 3D printer, it's going on 2D layers, and it usually has a 0.1 millimeter accuracy, but the nozzle it's using is a 0.8 millimeter. So that means it will only have one rotation for every 0.8 millimeter. So you want to at least double or triple for all the dimensions, if
Okay.
that makes sense. So at least 1.6, at least 3.2, just getting bigger and bigger as you understand that, while still staying within our main 3-inch diameter size requirement for the entire model, if we
Okay.
can.
Good.
Okay, so moving on. Now, and that's just for the central one of those 3 layers. The other 2 are completely thick and hard.
So
Just for
no,
the middle ones.
the middle one does not have holes, right?
Only the middle one has holes. Only the middle one.
Only the middle one have holes. Sorry,
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
the top one does not have
The
holes.
top one does not have holes. The bottom one does not have holes, but they all have a connection mechanism to each other and the inner hole.
Okay, I got it.
Excellent. Okay, so moving on. The central capacitor, the big one, the big
Yes.
octahedron, it has 7 octahedrons inside it. So the 3 octahedrons,
One.
like we have on the outer capacitors,
Yeah.
you remember how we did those with the 3 layers? So that's
Yeah.
at the very center with the spark gap at the very, very center. And then that's 3 layers. And then there's another 4 layers going outwards because the extra 4 layers are replicating electromagnets.
Yeah.
And then the outermost layer, of course, is zirconium for the spinning mechanism, so it stays as a dielectric and it can separate from the center flow. So does that all make sense? Because they're all giant capacitors, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
the some of them are capacitors that connect the other capacitors together with the spark gaps. Some of them are centralized magnet cores, and some of them are outer capacitors or low voltage capacitor plates. Okay, so that all looks good and dandy. So when you're designing the outer layer, just have in mind screw mechanism connecting the 2, and of course on the bottom there's a starship coil, and on the top
Where's
there's a
Starship
dodec.
Coil? Where the Starship?
I sent you
Here.
pictures of it. If
Yes.
you,
Yes, I saw it.
yeah,
You where you put it here in the
no,
bottom?
no, no, at the very bottom, under everything, under the outer hole. Yeah, right
Outer
there.
here? Here?
Yeah. So it completely. If you zoom in on that and go in reverse angle.
Here?
Yeah. So flip over the whole model.
Okay, sure. 1 second.
So now we're going to the bottom of the model.
Here?
Yeah. So see that how it's a circle? The
Yeah.
That's how big the starship coil is going to be.
Oh.
Yeah. Of the whole outer hole is a starship
You want
coil,
me design
and
the Starship
it
Coil?
connects. Yeah, it's very simple. You could
Yeah,
probably
yeah, it's
find
okay. Just let me know.
yeah,
Just yeah,
you could
okay.
probably find 3D scans online for free.
Yeah,
Honestly,
yeah.
people have made it before. So that's the very center, and then it's connected by an extra layer before you start with the outermost layer. So remember, it's its own capacitor as well. Because what does it take for a capacitor? You have aluminum, copper, and a zirconium in between separating them. So the Starship coil is copper. Zirconium is connecting it to the outermost layer, which is aluminum. And then the outer hull is a separate material, and it's touching zirconium instead of the outer hull. Okay. So just keep that in mind, because what it's doing is that Starship coil is a capacitor now and a magnetic core towards the central tuned magnet, because what the Starship coil is, it's vibrating to that specific frequency and maintaining a voltage through it. And then if you flip to the other side of the model, the very top of the model,
yeah, sure.
We'll go ahead and do that now. So now we're at the very top of the model, and you see another circle, right? But this one is going to be a Rodin coil. That's very important. Look up Rodin coil. I sent you pictures of it as well. You can probably find a 3D scan of it for free online. Download it. Just pop it in. That will go in that perfect circle in the, around that. And in the very center, it's like a donut. It's hollow. That's where you put the dodecahedron. Dodecahedron. I included a link in reference in previous notes. It's a it kind of looks like a sphere, but all of the polygons are hexagons. So it's very interesting. You could probably find a free scan of that online too. And that goes at the very center, and then that connects to the central capacitor as well. And it's passing the energy back and forth, and it's the same thing. It's a capacitor too. So you have the Rodin coil, and then you have a zirconium connection to the outermost layer, which is aluminum. And then when you're designing the outermost layer, keep in mind that you want to encompass everything and kind of make a replication of what the octahedron looks like, just a more smoothed out model of compressing it inwards. So like imagine like the octahedrons being compressed inwards, and that's what we're trying to replicate, because all of these crystalline power cells, what they're doing, they're like piezoelectric generators. And when you contract and expand them, that's how they create and generate energy and maintain it. So that's what we're doing. That's why all these things are spinning in different ways. That's why they're passing the electricity around with spark gaps. We're contracting and expanding consistently over and over and over while it's circling, contracting, expanding, and circling. And once you get to a specific RPM, I'm thinking around 3,600, you're going to have to look into the equations, 3,600 RPM with the resonant frequency, that's when it actually creates a massless reactionless drive, and that's when it can actually have its own gravitational pull. And theoretically, that pull should be at least a few pounds. Our goal is 300 pounds. That's our ideal goal. It can be done, and we might have to do several iterations, but the first working one should be at least a few pounds, definitely. And we can start selling cube satellites right away once we have that. Boom.
All right.
So that's pretty much it. Do you have any questions for me at this point?
I mean, I when you sent me the recording one, I take week to digesting what you said.
That's all right. Just every week, just try to make way more progress, and let's try to get printing. Like I said, print your ball bearings. See if those even make sense for the design. We might get rid of them. Yeah, print your ball bearing spinning mechanism. See if that even works, and if not, that's fine. We'll switch designs to the glass syringe design, which I'm pretty confident is going to be the best design, honestly. We'll have like a 0.3 millimeter separation and just have it be its own spinning mechanism, because the glass syringes does 0.2, and I think we should have a little variance because it's we're using metal and zirconium instead of glass. So just 0.3 millimeters is what I'm thinking.
You wanna for this part here, you wanna break this to two pieces here. This one and this
No. So the spinning mechanism is for the very top of the capacitor and the very bottom, and also all the spinning outer capacitors as well. All the ones that you currently have on the inner
say the center capacitor should be 7 pieces, but this one, 2,
7 layers, not 7 pieces.
Okay.
There's a difference. Yeah. Have you ever seen a Russian nesting doll?
Yes,
I saw it. There's a big doll, and then there's a little doll inside it.
You take inside the inside one.
Exactly. It's 7 octahedrons. Rewatch this video. I explained it earlier.
Yes, I saw it.
Okay, great. Excellent. So that's it. And then the holes is only for the middle layer of these capacitors.
Yes.
If you have time, the outer hole, try to I guess it's okay. Maybe like have a little bit more spacing, maybe, because we're trying to the outer hole is its own capacitor, so we're separating aluminum, zirconium, aluminum for that one. But yeah, so and then remember, have a pyramid design going outwards. So if you start at the very center capacitor and you start the pyramid, that's where the biggest base is, and it goes smaller as you go outwards. So just keep that in mind.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it for now. Any more questions?
No, no, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay, great.
You fill me out, man. Just like
Okay, excellent. Yeah, when you do some more updates, send me more pictures, and when you print your little ball bearing, send me that.
yes, yes, sure. I'll do the print and I'll keep you updated with I sent the pictures and also you can go see the time sheets. There are snapshots and they can tell you how many clicks, how many everything I did the whole day, whatever I do. And
Yeah,
you can
just try to get to a finished prototype a week. What our end goal is, once you really understand how this technology works, I want to print out a new one every week, a full prototype every week. And we should be able to get to that once you get caught up on this
all
technology.
right.
Just
So do you
let's
wanna
get you
like
learning.
I mean I don't know, but
Yeah, watch all
you
the
wanna
videos I send you, watch all the and read all the articles. It
yes,
will
I
really
do.
it will clarify
I'm
things a
really
lot.
excited, believe me. But I mean, the amount of the information you just, I mean, you study very well. I'll be honest with you, you study the stuff very well. But I'm need time to digest. I'm trying to speed up with your need. And same time, I want to learn. And same time,
Yeah,
so
yeah. Just
I
remember
want
what
to
we said from
feel,
the beginning. Yeah, student
yeah,
mentality, learn, evolve, grow, have fun
yeah,
with it.
you know
Enjoy
that
the process.
if you go in a circus, like the guy have like 5 dishes and he wanna make all the 5 dishes running, and same thing. How much I'm doing, try to satisfy
You're
you. I
gonna do
wanna do
great.
something.
You're gonna do great. Remember, once we finish this, there's a six-figure bonus for you once we secure all 1,000 orders.
Oh, all right, man. All right, all right. We're serious here. Okay, all right.
It's getting serious. Yeah.
I
All
really
right.
thank you.
So
This one
just
is
do your
like a
research,
very
have fun with
impressive
it, keep
project.
growing. Yeah.
All right,
All
man.
right.
Thank
If
you
you
so
have any
much.
more questions, let me know. Happy to help.
Absolutely. Thank
And
you.
I'll talk to you
I'll
later.
go print it. I'll go and print it. I have 3D printing and I will adjust my machine and all the stuff and we'll see how it goes. Okay.
Okay. I
All
have
right.
a feeling we're gonna switch the glass syringe design. I have a
I
feeling.
okay. We'll see.
All right, I'll see you later.
All right. Take care. Thank you.
Bye
Bye.
bye.